Hello everybody, my name is Miles, and today I'm going to be looking at a game called Starmade. And for those of you who play Minecraft, I'm sure you'll love it just as much as I have, because in a way it is sort of Minecraft in space, and it lets you build these large multi-man ships the same way that you build things in Minecraft, except they're able to move and stuff. And as you can see, there's planets, and this is a shop, and they're scattered all over the place, and the game's in a really early beta right now, but it is really fun. So I figured I'd give a little tutorial on building a ship. And when you spawn, you start out with a few basic supplies, but the most important thing that you start out with is the ship core. And to put that down, you hit X, and you can give your ship a name. So I'm going to call it the HMS Lulz. Apparently you can't have spaces. That's lame. Oop. There we go. But as you can see, it spawns a little ship core. And instead of just coming up to it and building onto it, you need to enter it by hitting R. And then it'll either put you into build mode or fly mode. Because you can fly just the core, but it's a really bad idea. And I don't know how much you can really move because you don't have any thrusters. But when you go into build mode, you're constantly oriented with the ship, so as you can see, because I made it go in one direction, it's still sort of floating that way. You can still see the speed at the top of the screen. But you start out with a little bit of hull, and some weapons, and some energy cores. They're more like power cores, I guess, but same thing. And you attach them to your ship. And the way that you place them determines how much power they actually give. So, for example, connecting them together makes them work much more efficiently. But for this tutorial, I'm going to make the floor out of them. Oh. The only problem that I have with this game, I will say, is that the controls are backwards from Minecraft. And I'm sure you can change it. But to break a block, you left click, or right click rather, and to place a block, you right click. So it's completely backwards. But you start out with some energy cores, and you get a little bit of hull. So place the hull down, make sure everything's nice and protected. Like I said before, I have way more supplies than you actually start with, because I have messed around with it a little bit, but if you were to buy a salvage computer and some of the guns that you need to mine asteroids, getting materials is pretty easy after that. So, just for basic ship build, we'll go with this. You also start with a weapons computer. So, you put the weapons computer down. And you can really place it pretty much anywhere. Stretch this out a little bit more. And there's a different computer for pretty much each different type of gun. So let me pull out my... Actually, where are they? Why do I only have one? As I said, this is a really early beta, and about an hour ago when I played, I had 30 of these. So I'm not really sure what happened. But luckily I'm at the shop, so I can buy some more. I'll buy 25. That sounds good. Probably won't use all of them. And as you can see, you have this selected when you place it down. You can select a component by targeting it and hitting C. So if I target the weapon computer again, you have to have the weapon computer targeted to get the guns to incorporate together, right? So let's have the guns coming out of here. And if you can see, all of them have a little purple box around them, which means they're all connected. So they'll all fire together as one large gun, which is really what we wanted. So extend this out a little bit. you can also pick an output for all of your guns to shoot out of one. And if you wanted to, you could have them shoot out of 4 different spots together, but I prefer having one larger cannon because I'm also going to have a missile firing section of my ship over there. Let's go over a few more of the blocks that you can get as I extend out my hull. You also start out with some boosters, which is pretty important because obviously your ship has to be able to move. So, put those on. Let's see, where are they? Oop. Thrusters. Alright. So, to put on the thrusters, they have to be near the energy cores, but they don't have to be touching them. And as you can see, I've pretty much encased the energy cores outside of... Well, no, I have just straight up encased them. But that doesn't really make a difference. As long as you have enough energy to run everything. And the energy in the bottom of the screen is the right-hand portion, and the left is your health. Now, right now, as far as I know, there's not a lot of ways that you can die besides getting shot at or being killed by a pirate. But the number of energy cores you have determines your regen rate for the energy and how fast you can move and stuff. So, take some of this out, build onto the ship more. The overall design of your ship does, in a way, determine how fast it can go. Which is cool, I guess. But you can have ships that are just these behemoths that don't really go fast at all. So if you want to build like a scout ship, obviously you would want it to be much, much smaller than mine. For the sake of showing sheer capacity, I figured I'd just keep going. Another pretty nifty bit that you can have on your ship is called a plex door. You place them down like this, and if you're outside of your ship, you can hit R and the doors will open, and you can come in, turn around, and hit R again. And I'll show you that for real here in a second. But I usually put them on either side. Having them only 2x1, like, say, this, is really a bad idea, because you're in space, or if you're on a planet, the orientation of your ship can change. So you can be sideways, and you wouldn't be able to fit through this 2x1 space. So, whoop. I always have 2x2, because it means that you can always fit through it. Let's talk about the cockpits. Alright, now, I plan on putting a cockpit here. And the reason for that is you can have a cockpit separate from your ship core, because when you enter your ship core, you see from your ship core. So as you can see, I can't see directly in front of me because of my cockpit and weapons computer. But if I switch to the cockpit, I can now see. So I don't have to worry about where my ship core is. I can put it in a very secure position and still be able to see what I'm doing. Now, grab my missile computer and place that immediately next to my weapons computer. Here. Oh. There we are. Alright. Now, since that one's selected, as it auto-selects when it comes up, I don't have to worry about where I put my missiles. But I'm going to line my main gun with the missile launchers. Oh. Oh, that's a salvage cannon. Oh my god. Where did my missiles go? There we are. Now, as you can see, these have the purple box around it as well. And let me go up here, select this with C, go down here, and put this back. Whoop. Not even the right spot. There we go. Alrighty. Now, the salvage computer. The salvage computer I'm probably going to put somewhere else. I'm not going to put it next to where my cockpit is or anything. I'll put it back here. Oh. Gravity unit, salvage computer. So, we'll put that gravity unit here. And what the gravity unit does is when you get onto the ship, since obviously you're floating in space, you can come over to it, hit R, and it'll form a gravity well, and you'll stand on the ship. And right now that's a little buggy, because if you open your ship door, forget to turn yourself off of the gravity well, and jump out, you'll fall for a good bit before it actually turns off. But I'm sure that'll be addressed at some point. So, back to the salvage computer. I put the salvage computer here. And as you can see, it's selected just like with the guns. And I'm going to have my salvage gun come out here. And this is what you need to mine, say, a meteor or something. You can also use it on planets, actually. Or you could just blow the planet up if you really wanted to. But it's usually way more profitable to use a salvage cannon instead. So let's get to lighting. Now, right now, my ship isn't covered up. As you can see, it's open, because I haven't... Honestly, I've run out of supplies. I'll have to go buy some more hull. But it gets dark in your ship pretty easy, so you can buy lighting fixtures. And say I wanted to put one right here. That light will spread to the rest of the ship. Now, if your ship gets big enough, obviously you're going to need more light. And the light also uses a little bit of power, but with the starting amount of power cells you get, that's more than enough power for pretty much anything you're going to need. So I'm going to finish up the ship and then show you guys what the finished product looks like. Alright, so we're back. I've finished the ship. As you can see, it's still a little blocky, but you can get bits that you can put on that will not make it blocky. You can get like wedges and stuff like that. But I haven't messed with that really yet, because last time I tried, it borderline crashed my game because of me trying to work with that and the ordnances at the same time, so trying to get them to face different directions and stuff. But let's give it a test drive. Go back into flight mode, hit R to get out, and I'm on top of it for some reason. I think that's another bug that I've dealt with more than once. But I've made it, so from here I can still activate the doors if I'm on top of it, because I knew that was probably going to happen. As you can see, hitting R opens and closes the doors. Not much of a problem. The light doesn't carry all the way over, but it does help a little bit. I really should place it directly over the core, so I'm probably going to do that right now. See if that helps any. Now, I have more thrusters than what you start with, so I actually go at a decent speed regardless of my size. But if you were to make a ship this large and not have more than the beginning thrusters, you would not be going very quick. And as you can see, it's draining my power, because I don't have enough power cores to sustain going this quick with such a large ship. But if I were to cut off the gas and just kind of glide for a second, it would slowly fill back up. Firing a laser does the same thing, but lasers don't take nearly as much energy. And to access your weapons, to be able to switch through them, you hit T while you're in the cockpit, and this is where you pick all of them. So there's not like an official UI for it yet, but you click on one and press 2, and that puts my salvage computer on number 2. But yeah, so that's my first impressions and a sort of tutorial on starting out with Starmade. I've been Miles, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!